Friday, July 1st, 2022. Beans are still struggling, so I'm not doing something right. You know, I gave them a while without working the soil. A lot of people on the forum say they like bad soil. That didn't work. Started giving them some Miracle Grow. That actually helped, but I'm still not getting the nice bushiness. Well, I don't know if that's the right word. The look that I'm looking for. I'll go ahead and insert a picture of what I want them to look like now. But they're about as tall as me, almost. And I'm 5'8", well, the tallest one. And they look healthy, just super spaced out. Why they want to go a foot or so in between every cluster of leaves, I don't know. Cherry's the strong performer right now. Again, I had that weird situation where, which one was it over here? Right here, where that shoot just shriveled up and died, kind of like this one did. It didn't crack, something just made it happen. But of course that happened on the shoot. So fortunately I had a sucker that popped up that's taken over. But otherwise, you can see we're at least 6 foot, if not a little more, on this side. And this side right here is about chin level. So it's got some catching up to do. I went ahead and added 2 stringers. So we got 4 on that plant, and I brought those 2 in the center closer. Keep in mind, you got to give that little bit of slack, so that's why I have them more narrow, because they're going to want to droop out because of the V. Makes for a pretty plant, though. Really nice cherry clusters that I'm getting. Just need them to turn right. A lot more flowers. I'm hoping everything's pollinating now, because we got over that week that was averaging 98, 99, and everything was kind of slowed down and stuff won't pollinate at that temperature. So I'm hoping that now that things have cooled off a little, we'll do better. Cherokee Purple's still struggling, but it's hanging in there. It's healthy. Just doesn't want to grow very fast. Probably about due to do a twirl on there. Got a flower, but that's about it. But it's been a devastating week. You know, what started out, I want to say Sunday or Monday, as a couple tomato hornworms just got kind of bad. So you could see, I think that was the first one I had. And then something made this stunt. So that's still got the good shoot on there, but for some reason it just stopped growing, and this one kept going. And it's still growing even after getting nibbled up here by that tomato worm. And this was the devastating one. I found this one probably 2 or 3 days ago, and it was literally the size of my finger. You know, I had a day before that where I was real busy, and I had watered them in the morning, and then I watered them actually after it was already night. And I was out working all day, and I have a feeling that one got past me, and you can see it pigged out. And it's really upsetting because that plant was doing so well. So now it looks a little retarded. And it's also stunted the growth. For some reason, this one, it stunted the growth, because these were pretty matched up a week ago. Whereas on this one, it didn't, except for it ate a lot less, because I keep my eye out for it. I'm not big in doing pesticides. I mean, if I have to, I have to, but it seems like usually when I get hit by them, I get hit hard and then they go away. I got hit hard, really hard this year. Ironically, after I had mixed the soil and broke that soil loose. So I don't know if I rattled up some eggs or something, but got a couple flowers. If they pollinate, I guess they're gonna suck nutrients that the leaves won't take. But these are getting really tall. I want to say, other than the cherry, there's my 3 tallest right there. And I got to look up at those. Those are at least 6 feet. Still not a bunch of tomatoes, but I'm used to that. You know, we hit this weather, and what I try to do is I try to get these things to make it past the heat of summer. And then probably like come September, if I can make them live till then, I'll start having success, because the temperatures will get a lot better. So that's the thing, make them last till then. You can see my hornworm damage here, hornworm damage here. They got me a little bit, but I you know, I can handle that. It's stuff like that when I overlook it that makes me sick. Little shoot that got past me here. Sucker shoot. But otherwise hanging in there. Gotten this plant doing a lot better. This is the one that had the most curl going on. Some of them, you know, are not so bad. And others are just, I don't know. It's still growing though. But that's also that pink brandywine's got the different looking leaves. So, you know, none of these are like specialty, you know, hot temperature, Arkansas thriving plants, you know. That's why I did the variety. I already know I can make the Arkansas 78s grow, but I wanted to diversify a little bit and get something with bigger fruit. Cucumbers. On one hand, they've been going great. But on the other hand, starting about 3 days ago, I don't know what's going on here. Look at that. I don't know if they just can't keep up with the water or if I got something going on. You know, when I try to Google images, nothing quite looks like what I got. So if you recognize that, please let me know. Like stuff that comes close, but that's kind of upsetting. They looked beautiful up until that day. Now, that was that same day that I watered in the morning and then didn't water until at night. So maybe they had one day where they dried out. Except for, they've been getting water ever since then. And all these newer leaves are doing pretty good. But then, like, they're catching up. Like, this has been newer since that day. And you can see the edges starting to go. Now, you could tell we're down to our 3. I trained these 2 over since that center one that broke never really recuperated. I don't know if I can even get in here. I'm getting a bunch of cucumbers starting though. Now is when I'm going to see if they're over nitrogened. Because I'm still giving them a little bit of Miracle Grow. I think this is the last week. I'll start pulling off the nitrogen. Actually, I'd take it back. I fertilized today. I know I usually do it on the weekend, but I'm going out of town for a week. So I did it today. I did it actually about 8 in the morning. It's Friday. And I did the master blend, so not as much nitrogen, because I figured they're getting enough cucumbers now. I don't want to over nitrogen them. And yes, I still haven't gotten the proper cucumber food, but you could tell it's doing pretty good. I mean, those first 2 were, you know, they had what, 2 weeks on the left 2, because that was the squash that got transplanted, and then those were in the little shoots that were in the cup of water. That left one, had I not broke it, would be right with this one, and you can see these caught up pretty good. So time will tell what's going to go on with that. It sucks though, I'm not going to be here for a week to train that. And as that's been getting higher, it's been wanting to cut through the holes on the trellis. Now this has been interesting. You know, this is kind of my test bed where I didn't do a whole lot. I ended up getting a soaker hose in, which helped a lot. And then, you know, I started Miracle Growing them. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. And it didn't seem to do a whole lot. And then I realized when I was hooking up the little, on this one, you know, I wasn't pre-mixing myself. I had the little feeder thing that they have. and it wasn't shooting it out. Did some Googling, found out those things like at least 35 psi of pressure, and I had very low pressure. So this morning I doused them. It was coming out a little better with the higher water pressure, but then I still wasn't happy, so I actually went right at the bases and I manually poured it. So we're gonna see if when I come back in a week, because I'll be back in a week, we're gonna see if those take off. They haven't done horrible. Again, these 3 are the squash, the ones that I transplanted when I realized that they really weren't gonna probably trellis that good. These 3 are the zucchini, which seem to be thriving probably the best. Especially that one. And then these 3 cucumbers. But I'll tell you what, the biggest difference I noticed was getting that soaker hose in and putting it on a timer to go off for 5 minutes every hour around the clock. So that's been the big change, is getting that timer in. I eventually got to get a drip system on these. If I could fit that in here in the next few weeks, maybe I will. It's going to cost a little money to fabricate one though. I had a timer and mine had went bad. Maybe I'll go over that in a future video, because after this video I'm hitting the road. But that helps out a lot. And it's going to keep those alive while I'm gone, because I'm scared that I'm going to come back to a dead garden because I got to rely on the local kids trying to earn a few bucks from me when I get back to water them and not forget about them. But that's pretty much your update for today. Thanks for watching.